It's my birthday today. I'm 38. I can't believe that. Oh my goodness. Actually, I've been telling people I've been 38 for the past 6 months. It's my way of trying to wean myself on the idea of that, and that's my big strategy for 40 in a couple of years. But in any case, it's my birthday. And I've spent the beginning part of today doing some fun things around the Isle of Man. So first off, I went and I picked out this amazing ring down at Elementile. So Elementile is a local jewelry maker and they use ethical silver. So it's silver that's been recycled. And Claire, who's the artisan behind Elementile, creates the most stunning pieces. And I'm actually going to be featuring in her campaign for her latest collection, the Droplet collection. So I wanted to go have a look and pick out a piece for myself. I loved it that much. In last week's video, I let you know that it was my birthday, of course, and that as a celebration of that, I was going to be putting together a special video, a Q&A. So that's this video. So I'm here to answer your questions. And I shared that on YouTube. I also shared it over on Facebook, on my Twitter account, on Instagram. And holy moly, I have so many questions to answer. And it's far too many for this video. So I've selected a selection of questions to answer. And the rest of them I'm going to answer as comments below. So if you don't see your question in the video, check it out below because I've been sure to get back to everyone. So, oh, and also I want to let you know that I'm doing a giveaway as well. So you've got to wait till the very end of this video to hear a little bit more about that. On to the first question. Emma Jarrett asks, how often do you visit your plot and how many hours a week do you spend working on it at different times of the year? Such a great question. So I have the philosophy that I want my allotment garden to be a 30-minute a day type garden. And that means that you can work the garden 30 minutes every day, so a little bit and often, or what actually ends up happening is that I go and spend an afternoon working on it once a week. But it depends on the time of year as well. So if there are things that you need to get up and pick, you need to go a bit more often. In the winter time, there's a lot less to do. So I visit the allotment garden a lot less. Also, when the soil is wet or boggy, and we've had quite a few of those days recently, even in the summer, it's not good to work with the soil. So it depends on obviously the time of the year and the soil conditions, the time that I have, and what the garden needs. The second question comes from Katie Smith, and it's a really sweet one, and probably more geared towards the women who are watching this than the guys. And she asks, your skin is so pretty and luminous. What do you use? Thanks so much, Katie. That's really sweet of you to say. My skincare routine is pretty simple. So I don't wear a lot of foundation. So 90% of the time I don't have makeup actually on my skin. And when I'm not wearing makeup on my skin like that, then I just use warm water to clean my face. If I am wearing makeup, then I will use my own handmade soap. However, turning 38 and experiencing some skin changes recently, so I've been getting a bit more dryness, I've been a lot more conscious about moisturizing. And I've been sent these really great products from an American company called Amelie, and I'm trying them out at the moment. And we've got the Persimmon Anti-Aging Night Cream, which is lush, by the way. It actually smells like something that you would eat rather than put on your face. Their philosophy is farm to face. So they're using their own persimmon trees to create products, and it's all very small scale. And this is out on the 1st of September, so it's out now. And then also their organic brightening facial oil. So I've used a lot of argan oil in the past as well for moisturizing. This has it in. It also has bearberry and pomegranate, and I love pomegranate oil. So definitely check these guys out if you're interested. The next question comes from Richard Freestone, who's actually an allotmenteer here on the Isle of Man. And he asks, hi Tanya, I'd like to know what you think is the very best way of removing overgrown raspberry bushes and how to stop the darn things growing back. So Richard recently took over our plot at our allotment, and I would say at least a third of the plot was raspberries, and raspberries can run rampant if you do not keep them in check. Now, if you want to get rid of them using organic methods only, the only thing I can tell you, Richard, is to keep digging them out. And if you're starting from fresh, so you've got a raspberry patch to remove, cut them down, use a shovel to create a space, maybe, I don't know, measure out like a meter from each area, and then dig that over with a fork. Make sure you try to remove as many of the roots as possible. They can become very invasive. The next question is a bit of a local question, and Bernadette Garcia asks, can you tell me about the Isle of Man and what sorts of things you grow, where it is, and climate, etc.? Quite a few questions there, Bernadette, but I'll try to answer as best as I can. So first of all, the Isle of Man is an island. It's pretty small. There's only about 85,000 people who live here, and it's a self-governing government. So it's a mini country, which is great because government is really small. There's not many people, so there's a really great sense of community. And as far as climate, we're zone 9, so it's a coastal climate. And it's a little bit of an odd one because we never really get that cold of winters and we never get really hot summers, really. And as such, a lot of the plants that I do grow can overwinter, so they won't actually be damaged by snow generally or frost. And actually sometimes I don't even see frost until well into winter. So I think, was it last year or the year before, the first frost I saw was in January, which is crazy actually compared to other places that get proper 4 seasons. As far as things that can be grown here, if you're speaking or referring to edibles, then a lot of the traditional garden veg can be grown here. So things like onions and cabbages and potatoes and raspberries. They do great here. Greens, spinach, lettuce, they do great outside here. Warm weather crops like tomatoes, peppers, and even sweet corn, they don't do as well here. And tomatoes in particular, and I've never seen them grown successfully outdoors on the Isle of Man. There's a fungal infection called blight that strikes tomatoes and also potatoes as well, so main cropped potatoes, and basically rots them from the foliage down to the roots. So being with the foliage, tomatoes are actually affected first off, which is why a lot of us grow tomatoes in greenhouses, and that's why you'll see all of mine in my own greenhouse. Junhan Lee, I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly, says, looking dashing as always, any tips on making your own glass house? Well, I've never made my own glass house, but one that I'm really, really impressed with is one made by a friend of mine, Barb, who lives in the United States. And Barb used upcycled and recycled windows to create, it's basically a conservatory. So it's a glass house that's attached to her home. And it is one of the prettiest solutions that I've ever seen. And I hope that she doesn't mind me sharing this with you, but definitely go ahead over to her blog and check out those pictures because I think that you'll agree that it's really pretty. Paul Sargerson on Twitter asks, what's the best place to site a bug hotel? Now, I'm actually installing a bug hotel on my plot today, and it's kind of interesting. So a lot of people would think, you know, piles of logs and twigs and etc. on the ground might be the best place for bugs. And it is, definitely. But bug hotels you're trying to attract other types of bugs as well. So certain types of bees, for example. And so bug hotels, whether you make them the small ones or the bought ones, you should locate them at least a meter off the ground. And so you can put them on fences, on posts, on the sides of buildings. They need some bright sunlight in the morning and then dappled sunlight throughout the rest of the day. And also need protection from the elements, especially from moisture, from rain. So put your bug hotel in a place that is not going to drown your bees that are living inside. Right, so I'm here at Grenoble Studios and I've just picked out my birthday present. So I have a silver ring from Elementile, and I want to answer another question from Facebook this time. And Andrew Pullen asked, well, he said, first of all, happy birthday. And then he asked my question, why did you choose to live on the Isle of Man? And actually I want to answer that in two parts. First part, it was just kind of random chance. I'd never even heard of the Isle of Man before, maybe 3 months before I moved here. It's incredible. But the second part is actually now that I'm living here, I love living here, first of all, because of the landscapes and the culture and the community, but also it's such a creative hub. So I make and sell handmade beauty products, but there's so many really talented creatives right here on the Isle of Man. So there's Claire, who's got Elementile that I'm at today, and also within her own space are represented quite a few different artists from the Isle of Man. So we have Mark, who does photography, and we've got woodworking, and we've got Nicola's paintings, and there's just so much here, and you get to know every one of these people. You can go into their studios, you can collaborate, and I absolutely love that about living on the Isle of Man. I hope you enjoyed that little glimpse of a artisan collective here on the islands. The next question comes from Swasti Bahari, and she asks, can you propagate shrubs which form hedges using a similar technique as you would to propagate lavender? Swasti, yes you can. Actually, a lot of shrubs can be propagated in the very same way that you do lavender and rosemary, and I've got videos for those here on my channel. And yew and boxwood, which are really popular for creating hedging, definitely can be propagated. And I want to recommend a book that I've had for years, Propagating Plants. This is from the Royal Horticultural Society, and this is the 2006 edition. There's also some older editions as well, which I'm sure are just as good as this, and this has so much information in it as far as propagating various plants, and it is comprehensive. So if you have the opportunity to pick one of these up, do so, and it will answer a lot of your questions about particular plants and shrubs for sure. Just 2 questions left to go. And Victor Gonzalez asks, what is your favorite activity between them all? Beekeeping, gardening, etc. And initially I thought that that was quite a hard question, but it's actually not. It's gardening. I love growing things. That's where all of my other interests actually sprouted out from. Oh dear. My neighbor's just turned on his lawnmower, so if you can hear that in the background, apologies. So gardening. So gardening is the foundation of making beauty products. So I grow herbs and flowers to put into beauty products, edibles to serve up for dinner and to make delicious things. And then also beekeeping. So my interest in bees actually sprouted out of my love of gardening and growing flowers for bees and pollination and helping the environment. And I love my bees, but actually it's gardening. Gardening is definitely my favorite. The next question comes from Robin Marklands, and the question is, could you elaborate an opinion upon the importance of not using slug pellets, as frogs, toads, newts, slowworms, and hedgehogs die from eating poisoned slugs and snails? Well, in one of my previous videos, I actually did remark on this, and I hope that a lot of you gardeners, or all of you gardeners, know that slug pellets, especially the blue ones, they can actually kill a lot of really beneficial wildlife that you want to see in your gardens. So if you're actually thinking about using slug pellets, go for one or a brand that is pet safe, and also use them really sparingly. Use other methods as well. I've actually just ordered a slug killer, which is totally organic. It's actually a tool rather than a substance. And I hope to actually do a review of that very, very soon. I'm really excited by what I read on another gardening source, so I will share that with you. It is so important to take care of the wildlife in our gardens and outside of our gardens as well. So please don't use the blue slug pellets. They do kill hedgehogs and other beneficial wildlife. That's it. If your question wasn't answered, I am so sorry. But if I answered all the questions that were posed to me, we'd be here for an hour. However, I have answered all of your questions and I have them prepared, and I will leave them as comments below. So if you'd like to have a look down there and leave me a comment and get back to me if you have any further questions on my answer, just please do that. And also, speaking of comments, earlier in the video, I said that I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So I am giving away, as a celebration of my birthday, a pot of my own handmade lip balm. So here on the Isle of Man, I don't just blog and vlog, but I have my own handmade beauty business as well. And I make handmade soaps and body balms. And one of my most popular products is Isle of Man beeswax lip balm. And I use my own beeswax in the products, and I also buy it from other beekeepers here on the Isle of Man. And it's like a really creamy lip balm. And I am very happy to ship it to anywhere in the world. And all you have to do is leave me a comment below this video telling me what you liked about the video and also what you like about my channel. So what other types of videos you'd like to see in the future as well. So good luck for that. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, and thank you all so much for your happy birthday wishes.